Terrie Carr, and thanks for checking out my web series. I bring in the artists and we chat. New artists, classics, and everyone in between. In this episode, Johnny Van Zant from Lynyrd Skynyrd talks about the band's new collection celebrating 50 years live at the Ryman, Gary Rossington's final Skynyrd show, and memories of his big brother, Ronnie. Let's go. So I am so psyched. I am with a legend right now. Oh. When I get like where I'm around a legend, I have to wear my tank top because I'm sweating in Jersey. I swear to God, I'm so excited to have Johnny Van Zant on with me. It is so great to see your smiling face. And I just said to you, I said, you're always smiling. And you said, you know why? Because there's nothing to be sad about. If things are sucking, they're going to get better. I love that attitude.
Sure is. It's been that way with me forever. You know, I used to be an old drunk and all that good stuff. And I was talking to a preacher one time and he said, "Why are you so angry?" I said, "Am I angry?" And he said, "Yeah, you are." Yeah, I said, "I'm sorry." He said, "You know, it's much better. Life is better when you smile and look at it in a different way, son." And it really clicked to me. I went, you know what? He's right. I'm going to be happy about things.
That's clicking with me, man. Clicking with me. All right. So I've got to tell you, this is a very exciting time for Skynyrd. There's always excitement going on. I had Ricky on with me. I guess it was the end of last summer. And he said, wait till you see next year. We are busy. We've got a lot. So he gave me a little bit. He spilled the tea a little bit on the live at the Ryman, celebrating 50 years, because he was spilling a little tea with me and telling me all about, Jelly Roll's there and Brent's there and Marcus King is there. So I was excited. I was ready for this. June 27th, by the way, we get it. We've got the double CD. We got the DVD. We've got the 3 LPs. There's a great, collections for everyone. So I see the video, the first song that you released, Tuesday's Gone, with Jelly. I'm telling people right now, you can watch this video. I dare you not to get the lump in the throat, the, oh my gosh, there's pollen in my eyes and a little bit of tightness in my chest. I literally could start crying now. It was so emotional for me to watch for so many reasons, not only because it was Gary's final performance. I saw Jelly's face too. And Jelly Roll kind of looked like he was looking around. He looked emotional and he looked like he's thinking to himself, holy, you know what? I can't believe I'm sitting here singing Tuesday's Gone with Skynyrd. It was in the audience, the people in the audience are swaying back and forth. That place is a magical venue. So talk to me about that night a little bit. And what do you remember about the filming of this whole collection?
Jelly's a real humble guy. And I don't know if you've seen a lot of stuff on him. He's a crier, and he had definitely tears in his eyes that night. He was he came in, and I really didn't know him at that time, and but I'd heard his first single, and I loved what he was doing, and I went, you know what, he's the real deal, and he loves Lynyrd Skynyrd. His old saying is, which I'm glad he put this person first. He said, they're in the South, it's Jesus, then Lynyrd Skynyrd.
He said that. That's great. That is great. Yeah, you could see it in his face, the emotion in his face where he was almost taking a step back because he seemed a little overwhelmed in a good way.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm so proud of him because of his success. Myself, I always like seeing people do good. And love watching him grow here in the entertainment business. And now my running joke is that he's asking me to wash his cars and take out.
Well, he's definitely the it guy. He is no doubt the it guy. And I have to tell you, I mean, did you feel that could have been Gary's final performance? The emotion at the end on his solo, it went right through me, and I had major goosebumps. I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh man, how did these guys hold it together that night?
He was very sick the week before that, and then he called me up. Gary was always messing with his hair. Called me up and said, "Hey Bubba, I might have to sit down." And I said, well, I'll sit down, whatever we need to do. And because he less and less gigs at that time. And he came in, stood up, He said, I ain't sitting down, you know. So he was just a war horse, you know. He loved playing that music. And I knew that night was special. I was having a great time. Things were awesome. You know, sometimes you get to a gig and you're kind of like, oh, well, okay, it's just another gig. But then you get there and you feel that presence, you know, and that was one of those nights. It was funny because myself, Medlock, my brother Donnie, and Gary all shared a little dressing room in the back. And we were stepping over each other's luggage and just like past stories, you know, things that we can't talk about. The only us guys were talking about. And somebody brought us a cold pizza, and we were like, yeah, man, we're starving, you know. So we're in there, we're eating pizza. And we started laughing. We said, you know what? This is kind of like the old days in the clubs, you know.
Full
So
circle moment. Yeah, because the Ryman, as legendary as it is, it's not even 3,000 seats. I was thinking about, how did these people get these tickets? Was it like a lottery? That must have been incredible for that intimate group to be there for such a legendary night. And you mentioned that Donnie was there, and he's gonna, you know, you're gonna see him on Red, White, and Blue. And Brent from Shinedown came out and did Simple Man. Simple Man, definitely a song that put that band kind of on the map. I remember when they first came out, and Atlantic hit me up and they said, we got this great band from Jacksonville. You know, they're a combination of like this heavy Skynyrd and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they'll come out and they'll play for you. And I remember I brought them out to a little barbecue place. And the caveat was they'll do their single and then they'll also do a cover of Simple Man. And I thought, well, that'll be cool. Our listeners will really like that. Yeah, bring them out if they'll do a cover of Simple Man. So I always remember that day, you know, and it coming full circle moment for a band that is now, you know, one of the biggest bands in current bass rock music.
You know, he was nervous. Brett was nervous. I was like, what the hell are you doing nervous? You're a great singer, you know?
Yeah.
And came in and blew us away. And, you know, we had Marcus King. And
oh, God.
just amazing. And, you know, so we had a great time and everybody wanted to be there. You know, sometimes you get asked to do things with certain artists and you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll do it, you know, but you could really tell that everybody was into it. And little did we know that was going to be Gary's last performance. I'm so proud that we actually videotaped this and had it on film. And we got a great documentary for your listeners and our fans that we put together. That's pretty much a tribute to Gary. And it's just all of us talking about him, talking about the night. And so amazing.
And that's at the end of the collection. That's like the final. We've got 15 songs, and then we've got this 16th celebrating 50 years of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And what a great, I mean, it's so hard to pick songs, but What's Your Name, Working for MCA, which also features John Osborne from the country duo, the Osborne Brothers. You got that right. I Know a Little, Down South Jukin', That Smell, Cry for the Bad Man, Saturday Night Special with Marcus, Red, White, and Blue with Donnie, Simple Man with Brent, Three Steps, Sweet Home, Call Me the Breeze, Free Bird. I mean, just incredible.
Let me cut you off. Ronnie at the end on Freebird.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But let's
Pretty
talk
cool.
about the 2018 documentary, which is now on Netflix, If I Leave Here Tomorrow, directed by Stephen Kayak. I really believe it. I'm a doc maniac. I watch everybody's documentary. I love them. I love documentary series about everything, music especially. I thought this was probably the best music documentary that I have ever seen. I got Ricky's take on it, and I'll tell you why I thought that. I just thought that Stephen Kayak got you guys. A lot of times a director will come in and they want to get all the facts straight and they want to include the music and stuff, but there might be a little bit of a connection that's missing. Maybe they don't just get the essence of everything. But from my perspective as a fan, I thought this dude, he nailed it. He got you guys. He got what that whole Skynyrd experience was about. What did you think of the documentary? I've literally seen it. It's got to be 30, 35 times. I love it so much.
You know what? We took very good care of that because there's been so many of them that wasn't correct.
Yes.
And
yes.
Our whole that was getting it from Gary's aspect, you know, because he was the last original member. and he was there in the beginning. And for my part in it, I was driving Mr. Gary. That's what I called it.
Right, right. He was the narrator. He was the main narrator of the doc. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Drove around, went to my parents' house, went out to the graveyard. So it was from his aspect, which I really dug. We went over to Robert E. Lee and the school and just went around Jacksonville reminiscing, ended up where the Hell House was. And you know what? I'm real proud of that one. I'm real proud.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I can't watch the end without crying, too, because it was just so beautiful with that whole explosive free bird, you know, and it was just, I blew me away. I mean, it gave me chills and I still love watching it. So I'm so happy that it's back on Netflix. And I want everybody to check it out if you didn't. It's hard to believe that was 2018 because it feels like it just came out yesterday. And you guys are coming to New Jersey. I got to get this in. You guys are going to be at the Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, Ovation Hall. It's a beautiful place on May 30th. So that's pretty darn exciting for us. Skynyrd on the boardwalk, baby. Coming to AC.
I always love coming to that area of the country, you know, because that's where a lot of true Skynyrd fans are. They're dying.
No question about it. We are Skynyrd Nation out here. People love you guys.
I love it. And you know what? I'm still enjoying it. And this whole video, the whole thing from the Ryman was a blessing to us. And I can't wait for all the fans to get this. I'm excited for the fans to see the doc at the end of it, which is really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. And I think the thing that drives that Skynyrd bus is just that amazing catalog. There's nothing like it. It's songs that are the story of our lives. I don't think that there's anyone that can say that they haven't had a Skynyrd song that has been, affected their lives.
You know, that makes me feel good you saying that because my brother was a great lyricist. You know, he just wrote for people and hit people's hearts and so many songs. The other night we did one of the Rock the Countries with Kid Rock, and we're outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. And when I was looking at the crowd even earlier because I got the best seat in the house on stage, you know.
You do.
I'm checking out the crowd, you know, I'm looking at them. I'm going, there's a lot of younger ones here tonight. And when we went into Simple Man, it was a spiritual thing that night.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just Saturday night. And man, we got to the chorus, and usually I don't do this, but something told me, tell them to sing it. So I just stuck the mic up in there. I said, you sing it. And there was about 30,000 people singing, Be a Simple. I mean, I was just like, look, I'm getting cold bumps. Right
you
now.
are. You should. Well, it's 8 to 80. That's the Skynyrd crowd now.
Yeah.
You're like, who's my Skynyrd crowd?
Yeah.
It's everybody from 8 to 80. I mean, and above 80 if they can make it out to a Skynyrd show, right? Isn't that true?
I'm using that.
Yeah.
I'm using that.
It's the 8 to 80 crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look around at Lynyrd Skynyrd concerts and that's what I see. I see the kids and the kids are there and I see the parents and I see the grandparents and it's wild. It's the 8 to 80 crowd. Look, we are so grateful for you. You're an American treasure. What is it like to, because you've got the most different perspective. Not only do you have the best seat in the house, but you know, Ronnie's with you every night. He has been with you every night. Okay. You're the one person who doesn't remember life without Ronnie in some aspect of your life. When he was here in the physical.
Sure.
And then when you carried on the legacy. So you've got such an interesting, I think, perspective, doing something that no one else has ever done. You've been in Skynyrd since 87. I was at some of those early shows. You had big hair too. You had the big 80s hair. Everybody had the big 80s hair back then. But your perspective has been so different on that. And what has that been like for you? Just having him with you, you know, from when you were a kid, now carrying this legacy on.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, for me, Ronnie, even to this day, was never the person that other people had see or listen to him sing. He was just my bigger brother who picked on me, wanted to make me tough, you know. And still, I get that, you know. I mean, that's who he was to me. He was the guy that I'm wearing a Beatles shirt today that if I said, man, I love that shirt that you got, he'd be like, go get me one of yours, and take it off. So he was that guy who we talk fishing, that's who I come to whenever I think of him. And but on the singing side, you know what? He was the way he sang these songs was just so cool and different. And I've had people go, "Well, you don't sing it as good as Ronnie." I said, "I never will. I didn't write them, but I'm here to carry it on." And I sing it the way I sing it, the way I think it should be sung. And I've had people go, "Hey, you need to put a hat on." I said, "I don't look good in a hat, not unless it's a baseball cap backwards, So I got to be myself. But I know that he's there every night, and I know that he had a lot of me being here, being put in this position. I really feel that spiritually. And for me personally, I was a Skynyrd fan before I was offered to be a part of this. But I walked in a room in 1986 with his little brothers, because he was the alpha dog and the oldest one. And they are all still really hurting from this horrible, horrible crash, and asked me to be a part of it. And I know, sitting here today in 25, that I did the right thing. And before Gary passed, he told me and Ricky, he said, "Man, I've spent my whole life keeping this music alive for my brothers who passed in 77. I don't want to see it end." And to me, that was him telling me, "Hey, keep going, man, as long as you can." So as long as I can, I'll be out there playing these songs and seeing that 8 to 80 crowd.
The 8 to 80. And I think the both of you, the most common thread is that neither one of you I don't think of as singers. I think of you both, you and Ronnie, as deliverers. Certain people deliver songs to the audience, and you deliver these songs in a way that no one else ever could. And he had that quality, and you have that quality, and that's the thing I think that has kept the band in the hearts of so many for so long.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Whenever I think of singers, I think of Paul Rodgers, who just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So overdue. One of my favorite rock vocalists of all time. There's nobody who sings them like Paul. Yeah, you guys just delivered that music, and still delivering it. How lucky are we? Celebrating 50 years live at the Ryman in Nashville, June 27th. We get it. You can pre-order it, by the way, at LynyrDSkynyrd.com. So Skynyrd fans, get up there and pre-order your copy. It is just a beautiful collection, 15 tunes. We've got the documentary at the end. And Johnny Van Zant, I'm so grateful to spend some time with you today. What a great way to spend my afternoon. Thank you so very much.
Me too. And hey, thank you for having me. And we're in your neck of the woods. Come out. I'd love to see you face
May
to face.
30th, Atlantic City Ovation Hall. Make sure you come out and check out the Skynyrd legacy, man, because those songs, they will live on forever.
Yeah, I say there's some kids skipping school learning. Do, 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 do.